Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to have a workshop on our Zotero citation software. And we're going to begin today by showing you the Zotero website. Before you need to get started, you will need to download the program itself to your device. And then depending on which device that you're utilizing, that it will be the device that you'll need to download. So if you go to Zotero website, which if you just Google Zotero, it should be the first result on that page. You can then go from their home screen, you can go to download, and then you'll see the option for your Mac and for other downloads as well. I believe it's connecting via the device that I'm currently using, so it's recognizing the Mac. But you can also do Windows and Linux as well. Now, once you download and create your account and log into the system, I'm going to show you, I'm going to switch our views here for a second. I'm going to show you the Zotero application. So now we'll be looking at the Zotero application itself. Now mine is pretty full. It is a collection of all the citations that you gather from either libraries or from the web. And it's just an easy way to keep track of all of your resources, whether they're online ebooks, physical books, PDFs, any of those things. You can kind of keep track of that in here. Now myself, I use this for my dissertation and I also use this for work. So I'm just going to walk through what we're looking at here on the screen, and then I'll show you some of the things that the program can do to kind of make your life a little bit easier. On your left-hand side, you will see your library, your main library. You can create additional folders underneath that. So there's a hierarchy that you can create. So currently I am working on my dissertation, so I keep my dissertation as the folders that I most frequently see. So all this is referenced to this one project that I'm working on. You can also create additional libraries. Now these group libraries can be shared among group members, or you can also make them private. Right now, the only way to create these additional libraries is to log into their website and then log into your account on the website to create additional libraries. And what I do is I just log in and I create private groups for myself. So I just have a bunch of little additional groups here. And you can do this in, however you want, whatever is easier for you. Maybe you want each of your own topics to be its own little library, whatever works for you. Now I'll have stuff for work here. I have just my regular graduate classes. I have my old dissertation topics. I have things that programs and projects that I'm working on currently in my actual full-time job. Now, if you come over here and you select one of the titles, it gives you whatever's in that category. Your whole library up top consists of all of your citations within the whole Zotero software. So if you can't recall something, you forgot where you put it into one of these folders, you can always go here and search and see if you can find what you're looking for throughout all of your folders. You can also search just within one folder, and then you can even find duplicate items. So there's a duplicate items tab here, and it'll tell you how many times that you've duplicated items into various folders. So you can see I do this a lot because I'll leave things and come back to it and find out later that I already had it. So what you can do here is when you do have duplicates, if you select a title, it lets you merge them. So that way you only have one copy in all of your collections instead of multiple copies across the way. So that's kind of nice for you as well. You also have the ability, when you do the merges or you do delete something, it will go to your trash, just like your regular programs like Windows and Mac. And you can clear that out whenever you'd like. When we're looking at a folder, let's see if I can get a good folder that has a few titles here. There's different types of resources. So for example, this one, it will tell you that it's a web page by the little icons. If you drop down to this one, you'll see that this is a journal article. Now this layout here is something that you can change and create how you would like. So here I typically want to see the title, the creator, and the year, but you can go into the preferences and change that. So maybe you want to know the journal instead. You want the journal to always pop up here. You can create that in your own preferences. On the right hand side, you don't always have to have this up either. This is up to you. I like this to pop up because it just gives me a real quick glance about all the information that you have, all the data it has gathered. So you can go here, you can quickly change things. So for like APA, you're not supposed to capitalize everything. So you can go and you can, fix the capitalization issue in here. So when you grab your citations later, it will pull the right type of citation in the correct way. If you don't correct the titles and the capitalization and you pull your citations later, it will have the capitalization when you may not need that, and it may not be required for your citation style. It's not going to fix that for you. You can also keep notes. There is a notes option here on the right side too. So if I wanted to add a note to the seeking full citizenship, I can go ahead and add, and then write. You can attach items, you can insert links, whatever you need to do. You can highlight things and add a note to that as well. I want to go back. You'll notice that it will attach the full text. So if you do pull something, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit, if you pull an item from the internet or you can manually add it, the PDF to the full text. So if I select this full text, this is a recent edition here, and I'm not exactly sure how it works on the Windows versus the Macs. It typically used to open up in your PDF Finder, but I've noticed now that it actually is opening PDFs just in the last week within the actual software. So you can actually look at your PDFs as just another tab in the software. And this is really neat addition, which again, they didn't have before. So you can actually come down here and annotate things, highlight different colors. What else can we do? You can select areas and you can leave little note tags, which again, that is all relatively new. This was not here previously. So that's a neat little advancement that they've made currently, at least for Macs. All right. I'm going to show you, again, if things look a little different. So depending on, I remember I mentioned that the icons change. So like under dissertation samples, you'll notice they all have like the little caps and gowns because this is going to be a dissertation. It's just depending on what type of resource. So if this was a book, it's going to have the little book icon. And I believe if it's a chapter, it has like an open book, if I'm not mistaken. So it just gives you a quick visual of what kind of sources that you have. And again, you can go into the info if you need to add things, if you need to change what type it was. So say this wasn't a book, but it was just a chapter of a book. And you can just go ahead and change that. So yes, the icon changed to a little open book. You can go back, change it to blog posts, interviews, journals, letters, and this comes in really handy just for your own references and when it goes to pull the citation style. So this really, it has a wide range of resources. Doesn't have everything. There's always something that pops up that you want to wish they had, but it gives you at least a starting point of what type of information that you want to grab from what type of resource that you're utilizing. It also has the ability to create tags. So some people like that idea to tag things and come back to it. You'll notice here on the bottom, if you scroll, if I can push up here, you have all your different tags. So for this article, I tagged it with these particular topics. And if I want to just go to that tag, say I just want to look at things with faculty publishing, I have one item with faculty publishing. Maybe I do promotion. I have one, education trends. Academic libraries. Haven't used tags as much as other people have used tags, but those are there to look at and help organize your setup. Now within Zotero, you can add things manually. So there's a little tag up here at the top. So you could add a book section. Of course, you can go to more and add whatever you're looking at. If I want to add a document, it just creates a new file right over here, and I can go ahead and start filling in that information. You can also pull things from like DOI numbers, ISBNs. So view the ISBN of a certain journal or book, you have the DOIs of a certain article, you can pop that in and it's supposed to find that exact information and self-populate that into your Zotero software. And again, you can just add a note. You can add standalone notes, or you can add a child, which is just attached to one of the resources. And then, of course, you can attach the files or links to URLs to a manually entered item as well. And again, you have your search, advanced search functions as well. If you really want to get into, if you have a library that just has hundreds of items, that may be something that you want to look into. Now, I will say, I'm going to go actually back here for a second and see if we can go to the web browser, go back to the Zotero option. Give me 1 second. Hopefully you guys, yes, are seeing there's our Zotero website here. There is the option to upgrade your storage. You get so much storage in your initial free version, but you can also put in and pay for additional storage. Now, because I'm using this for my dissertation, I have paid for additional storage, although I find the storage not too bad. It looks like I am at 100%. I may need to pop it up here. But the select plan, I'm currently on the $20 plan, that's 2 gigs, and then the $60 plan was the 6 gigs. Or you could just do unlimited for 120. So it's not super cheap, but it's also not horrible. I can see that I am really surpassing mine. I think I may just delete some before I pay for the 60. But it's there as an option if you need it. If you know you're going to be using it a lot, I highly recommend it just so you don't have to worry about it. All right. So for this, I'm also, now that I'm in the web browser, I am actually going to show you, see if I can share a different web browser. I prefer the Chrome browser just because I know that Chrome works well for the Mac. Windows can be slightly different depending on, I'm going to stop sharing here for a second. So Chrome may not be the best one for Windows, but I know for Mac it is for me. So I'm going to open Google Chrome, and then I'm going to share that browser with everybody. All right. Let's see if we can get Google Chrome working this morning. I am using Chrome. All right. Bear with me. All right, so what we're going to do here is you can download web icons. I'm not sure what's the exact words for it, but the little add-ons that you can do that will come up here in your browser. On the right-hand side, you'll see that I have like a Grammarly one, I have an Adobe one, and this little icon here means I have the Zotero added to it. So I'm going to go to Google Scholar, and I am going to, sure, straws in the plastic in the ocean, right? And I'm going to go to one of the websites, and I'm going to see that this was a PDF that I found on Google. And all I'll need to do is, you'll see up here on the right, if you click that icon, you can then add it to whichever library that you have in your Zotero. So it has all your Zotero folders, and then you can choose to see which one you want to add it to. So for this one, I'm just going to add it to my QEP, hit done. And now that full citation and the PDF of the full text is in your Zotero. Now, I will say, I found a really good example. It doesn't always work that smoothly. Let's see if we can find one. If we have the Straw Wars, let's go here. And if it's something where it's going to ask you to pay for the access, what you'll see that it'll do is I'll select the icon, and you'll notice that underneath it just says snapshot. It no longer will say full text. But it'll still add it to your QEP. It'll still add it to our folder, but it will not attach the full text because it is behind a paywall. Now, of course, just with librarians doing research, you can go to your library, log in, search for the title and see if you have access to that. It's already been paid for, or do an interlibrary loan. However you need to do to find that, you can save it to your computer and then manually upload that to Zotero. Because if I go back here, I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and I'm going to go back and share our screen for Zotero. And now you'll notice that within our QEP program, it even highlights the last one that you did. So the last one it entered, you'll see that our Straw Wars is right here. You're going to notice that underneath, it just has a snapshot. Now that snapshot, if you click that link, will take you directly back to the web page in which you found it. But it will not have that full text. The other one that we were looking at here was plastic straw found inside the nostril of an olive Ridley sea turtle. That's horrible. Okay, so if we scroll down, it has the link here. I'm surprised it actually did not grab the full text. It should have grabbed that full text. So that would be one of those ones that you'd have to go back, save that PDF to your folder, to your device, and then you can manually update that since the full text was there. It can be glitchy, but I would say 85% of the time, it does a really good job of just grabbing that PDF automatically. And again, the same thing with the creating like the authors, the dates. A lot of times if you have the PDF, like you see we have the full text here, it doesn't always necessarily grab the information. Sometimes you need to go ahead and add that information to the data and to the metadata. All right, so I will say that, I will notice that you have the new group here. So maybe, yeah, if it's linking to your new group, it will prompt you to go to the website to do so. But you should be able to add a folder, yes, right here, without having to go to the website. I'm not really sure why you have to go to the website for that, but that's how Zotero is. Now again, this can look slightly different if you're on a Windows machine versus the Mac, because I am, again, using a Mac. So don't be too surprised if it just looks slightly different. But the resources and the services that it offers are pretty much the same. And so if you have any additional questions on Zotero, or you're just interested in learning more, the library does have a Zotero LibGuide that you can go to. If you are on our website, I will bring it up right here. I'm going to stop sharing and start sharing our website here. Let me go to our home screen. If you go to the Ina Dillard Russell Library and you head into our research guides, which are going to look a little weird maybe right now. Hold on. Nope, we're good. So if you go in here and you go to and just search Zotero, there will be a Zotero guide. And that Zotero guide has been updated. And you can come here to learn basically pretty much I went over today. There are some training videos, which I've now noticed have maybe been made private. So we're going to have to update those. You're going to have the install information, how to save citations, create bibliographies. And these are all walked through on like a Windows screen. So that'll help those that want to see kind of maybe some of the shots of what the Windows version looks like. All right, so if you have any follow-up questions, you can refer to the guide, or you can reach out to the library and we'd be glad to help you at any time. Thanks for joining us today.